Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Ron. And today I am so excited because we're going to be cooking one of my favorite casserole dishes, sausage and wild rice. A delicious meal, all in kind of one pot. It will feed a whole lot of people. It's fairly affordable, and I think you're going to love it even if you're not a sausage fan. So let's get started. Okay, what we have here, folks, to start with, this is a recipe that really is pretty simple because it's a recipe of twos. What I have here is 2 pounds of Jimmy Dean sausage, one regular and one hot. Now, you may decide that you want to use 2 regular or 2 hot. You can do that. This is just what I think that works out best for me. 2 boxes of Ben's original long grain and wild rice that we'll cook to the directions of the box. 2 cups of celery, 2 cups of onions, 2 cups of, or rather 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup, 2 cans of cream of chicken, and 2 cans of mushrooms. Now they're optional. You can put them in or not. Or if you want to use fresh mushrooms, you can do that as well. So let's get started. All right, what we've got going here, I have got my water in for my rice, and you just follow the directions on the box for that. I think it's about 4 cups of water, 4.5 cups of water, and then the contents of the box. And we're going to cook that right there. We're going to bring that on to a boil, and then we'll shut that off in just a few minutes and let that get going. I have my skillet here that's ready to go. I put some olive oil in there and getting it hot. And so what we're going to do now is open up this sausage. Let me get right over here and get my knife. And we're just going to open this up and crumble it up into the skillet, and we're going to get it done. I think you're really going to like this recipe. I am not a big fan of breakfast sausage as such to have in the morning, but I do like this recipe. And again, you don't have to use this particular brand. If you have your own brand, that would be great to use. This seems to be less fat than some that I've used in the past. All right, so we'll just break that all up. Then we'll get over here with the regular one. We'll do the same thing with it. Put that there. I think when I've used 2 hot before, the sausage it seemed to be a little too hot for me. And when I use the 2 regular ones, it doesn't seem to have enough kick to it. So I settle down on the one of each. So we'll let that go. Get over here and wash my hands. All right. So we're going to, again, bring this to a boil and then shut it off to a simmer. And then we're going to get our sausage going here. It's beginning to sizzle. And I don't put any type of seasoning on this. We're just going to cook it down till it gets kind of crumbly. All right, we're back now. Our sausage is almost done. And I have left it, if you'll notice, kind of chunky. It's not chopped up real fine because I like mine, so you get a pretty good bite of the sausage when you dig into the casserole. But it's doing real good now. I'm going to take it off in just a minute. This is the rice, which is down to a simmer now. We're going to let this get all the rice soaking up all the water, and then it'll be ready probably about the time we get our onions and our celery done. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this sausage out. I'm going to spoon it out, and I'm going to leave the fat in the skillet. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that in just a second. So, this all done. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells delicious. And the great thing about this dish, you don't have to mess up 40 different pots. Just 2 or 3. All right. Just about all of that. Okay, so we're going to put this back on with the fat from the sausage left in the skillet. And it looks like we might need to add just a little bit more. So I'm going to add a little olive oil here. We'll let that get good and hot. Then, as soon as that does its thing, we're going to add our celery and our onion. So you dice those up. I know you guys know how to do celery and onions, and so you don't need to see me chop those up. And we will just kind of stir those around. At this point, you could add a little bit of garlic to this if you'd like, garlic cloves or minced garlic, and I'm going to put a little minced garlic in mine. I think that gives it a nice little kick. Something about that right there. You want to be careful with this garlic and not let it stick or burn, because there's not much anything that's worse than burned garlic. Okay? And again, I'm not going to do any type of seasoning to this because you have plenty of seasoning and salt in the sausage. So we'll let that do its thing. I'll put a lid on that. We'll let that simmer. We're going to let that cook down to where the onions are sort of translucent, and then we're going to add that to our mixture here. Now, while that's doing its thing, what we can do now is we can add our other ingredients to this. These are the mushrooms, and I did drain them. We don't want any excess water in there. And then here are the 2 cups, or 2 cans rather, of cream of mushroom soup. And number 2. And now for the cream of chicken. This makes it real rich. Get every bit. That's the good stuff right there. All right. And number 2. Then we can go ahead and start mixing some of this up right now. We're going to mix it all together later, but we'll get this going, and this will make the mixing process a lot better when we add the rice and the celery and onion. And it does have a little bit of fat in it from the sausage, but that's okay. Because when we get all this together, then we're going to bake it off for about 20 or 30 minutes, and it's going to be wonderful. All right, let's check our food out here. Let's see what we got. Our rice looks great. Can you see that? It has a little water in it, but that's okay. So we're going to pour that directly into our bowl. Okay, now let's go over here and check our celery and onion. Oh yeah, that looks good. A lot of this depends upon what kind of texture you like. If you like crunchy celery, then you wouldn't cook it quite as long. But if you like that to be real tender like I do, then it needs to be about like it is now. Okay, it's done. We'll turn that off. Then we're going to add that to our mixture here. All right. Then what we're going to do is just mix this all up. Smells great. This is also a dish that you can, it's kind of versatile. You could add water chestnuts to it and maybe a little soy sauce, and then you could have an Oriental type meal. Or you could also, this would make a great stuffing for duck or turkey, anything along that line. Especially duck, I can see it being real good for that, since the duck is sort of a wild game. All right, get that all mixed up. All right, with that, then to that, I already have a greased, let's see, what size is this? This is a 9.5 by 11 by 4.5 inches deep. I'll put that in there like that. Get over here where you can see. And I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to just kind of shake that like that, level that out. Again, I did grease the pan. I had a little spill. Don't look at my dirty oven. I had a little spill yesterday, and I didn't have a chance to clean it up. We'll put that in there, and we'll let that cook for about 20 minutes. When we come back, we'll have something to eat. All right, let's check our casserole and see what it looks like. Oh, wow. Look at that. How impressive is that? I wish you could smell it. It smells delicious. I'm going to put it over here on my stove top. And shut my oven. Turn that off. Some of the heat out here. We'll let it sit here for a minute or two, and then we will try some. All right, now it's time for the taste test. Let's see what we got. Still hot. Look at that. Hot. Very rich. The celery and onions are done. Very good, if I do say so myself. As I told you earlier in the video, it is my favorite casserole dish. This would be good with salad, maybe some English peas, or you could just serve it by itself. But it's a great, great dish, and I love it. Well, that's our video for today. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you'll try to make this recipe. And until next time, God bless you, and I love you.